Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminolly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, announcing year 4 of the Read What You Own challenge. So if you don't know, the Read What You Own challenge is something that has become an annual event on BookTube. So the concept is that you set yourself a target of a number of books that you already own that you would like to read before you can buy any new books. It's something I started on the channel not long after starting the channel, and to my surprise, other people wanted to get involved, and it's kind of grown year by year since then. It may sound like a strange thing to do, it may even sound like a masochistic thing to do, but I found it to be a really useful way of just kind of resetting myself, resetting my book buying, which does have a tendency to get out of hand, and just a time to kind of take stock of the books I've got in my personal library already that I haven't read yet. And I've ended up, in previous years reading books that I'd had for ages, which have completely delighted me, and which I might not have gotten to if I hadn't done the challenge. And I'm joined again this year by 3 co-hosts, MJ from the channel Reading This Life, Crystal from the channel Fibre Artsy, and Greg from the channel Another Bibliophile Reads, all of whom will be putting up announcement videos. All of their channels will be linked in the description to this video. I urge you to check them out. They are 3 of my favourite channels on BookTube. So, as I say, the concept is really simple. You set yourself a target of a number of books you would like to read before you can buy any new books. This year, we're introducing another way of doing the challenge, which is a page count challenge instead. So, clearly, books can be very different in length. You get some books that are 100 pages long. You get some books like Shogun, which I'm reading at the moment, which are about 1,200 pages long. So if you are someone who prefers to read longer books, who tends to read longer books, you might want to set yourself a page count target rather than a book count target. And as a general rule of thumb, for the different tiers of the Read What You Own challenge, which I'll talk through in a minute, we are saying that the average length of a book is about 250 pages. So let me tell you what those tiers are. And as I said at the start, you can choose any target you want. It's completely up to you. But if you want to go for one of the tiered targets, those tiers are Platinum tier, which is what I'll be going for again this year, which is 100 books or 25,000 pages. The Gold tier, which is 75 books or 18,750 pages. Silver tier is 50 books or 12,500 pages. And the Bronze tier is 25 books or 6,250 pages. So you can choose to do one of those tiers if you want, or you can set your own target. And the other thing you can do is you can set, if you want to, caveats. So the caveats I'm going to set myself this year are that I'm allowed to receive books as gifts, and also I'm allowed to receive books in for review. But if I read a book that I've received either for review or as a gift, it doesn't count towards my target. So I'm not going to stop people sending me books, but I won't count them towards my target if I read them. Now, when I did this last year, starting in 2023, I ended up doing it twice back to back. And with the benefit of hindsight, that was a terrible error of judgment. I found that whilst I really enjoyed the first 100 books, the second 100 books ended up feeling like a real drag. And with those first 100, what I did was I was very, very focused on getting through books. So I kind of almost planned it out to make sure I could get through that target of 100 books quickly. And I really, really enjoyed that experience. I really enjoyed discovering books in my personal library that I probably wouldn't have got to otherwise. When I did the second 100 books, I had far more caveats. And what that meant was it took me much, much longer. So my personal advice is set yourself a target that you think you can get through in a reasonable amount of time so that you're not going to find it a drag towards the end. For me personally, 100 books is the right target because I've just got so many books I need to get through, and that's the target I've always set myself, and I've always enjoyed it apart from that second time round last year, or earlier this year rather. But yeah, set yourself the target that feels right for you. And if you find you are really struggling with it, then there is no harm in throwing in the towel. Plenty of people have done that. That's absolutely fine. But hopefully you will find the experience of reading at least some of the books you already own to be a positive one. I've certainly found it a really enjoyable experience in the past. In terms of other rules and things like that, your definition of a book is your definition of a book. So Personally, I say if a book is registered on Goodreads as an individual, item, then that is a book. So that can mean that you can read, individually published short stories, for example. Audiobooks are completely fine. Rereads are completely fine. It's up to you, what books you include in that target and how you consume those books as well. And that really is it, other than to say two things. The first thing is this all kicks off on the 5th of November. And the second thing is there will be a channel on my Discord server for people to discuss it. And I know in previous years, people have found that really useful, particularly maybe when they're struggling a bit, to have somewhere to go and chat with other people who are doing the challenge. So if you're not a member of my Discord server already, there'll be a link in the description for you to join up. It's completely free. Right, I will leave it there. Do let me know in the comments if you're going to be taking part in the Read What You Own challenge this year. Let me know if you've taken part in it in previous years. And as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff. And I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.